So this video is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. I have some thoughts that I feel like I need to share and get out because it's something that's really bothering me from a trend that I see from a lot of people recently. And if there's one thing that I've learned about myself, it's that I need to speak up when I see something that's I don't think is right. So what I'm talking about in question is this idea of the alpha male and of the alpha female. Alpha males are going to be necessary to get through hard times that are coming. There's no doubt about that. Alpha females are also going to be necessary to get through hard times. You are not going to prove yourself an alpha female if you don't know how to treat an alpha male or how to be part of a MAG, which is a mutual assistance group, for those of you who don't know. I see these posts all the time, and I hear these people talk all the time about women in particular, about how they need an alpha male to do things. There's all these jokes about, ladies, make sure you find an alpha male, something about a post-apocalyptic partner, which I get it, like, haha, it's funny, it's a joke. But there's always a little bit of truth in jokes. And it's a common mindset, I find, in a lot of women, particularly even a little bit older than me, older than I am, and like my generation in particular. I'm a Generation X baby. So a lot of women in the Generation X, and some even from the generation before, don't have the mindset of practicality or of usefulness. Because the fact of the matter is, if you are genuinely concerned about things going down or things happening in the world, if you're waiting on an alpha male to save you, maybe stop waiting and start asking yourself, what skills do you have that you can bring to the table in order to have that alpha male in the first place? And I don't want to say deserve that sort of alpha male or that sort of group, that sort of MAG, but that's essentially what I'm saying. You have to, especially in the coming days, prove yourself worthy of a partner or of a group that is willing to share resources with you. That's essentially what it comes down to. And that has nothing to do with me being sexist or saying men are better or women are better. That's nothing to do with anything. It's just facts. I'm a small person. I'm only 5'1", and I'm little. There are things here on the homestead that I can do. I don't think there's anything that I can't do here, but that are more difficult for me because of my size. So there are other things that I can do that are easier, like cooking, like sewing. I'm still working on learning with that one. Like cooking, like sewing, like keeping things clean, keeping things tidy, doing planting, gardening. Those sorts of things are more natural to women than they are to men. So this idea of needing to have an alpha male is great, or needing to have a MAG, a mutual assistance group, is great. But you have to ask yourself, what sorts of skills do you bring to the table? And I think this is more directed at women than it is at men, because a lot of men will have those sorts of necessary skills. I say a lot. More men than women will have those sorts of necessary skills. But if you're a male and you're watching this and you're like, oh, shoot, I don't know how to chop wood. I don't know how to skin a bear. I don't know how to skin a deer. I don't know how to operate a gun. I don't know how to protect myself. I don't know how to survive in a grid down SHTF situation, then maybe you need to reevaluate what your priorities are. For women, especially, I think it's important because as a woman, you are automatically the weaker sex. I don't care how many testosterone pills you take. I don't care how much of a bodybuilder you might be. I don't care how much of anything you might have that quote unquote proves you are stronger than a male. In a grid down SHTF situation, 99.9% of women are going to be the weaker alternative. They're going to be the weaker partner in that group, or the weaker partner in that partnership, or the weaker member in that group. So instead of sitting there and saying, I need this and I need that and I need, focus on building your skill set so that when something does happen, or when somebody or multiple somebodies come along, you are prepared to offer skills and resources that are going to benefit the both of you. The last thing that someone is going to care about, or that anyone is going to care about in a grid down situation, is what your nails look like, how new your manicure is, or what your hair looks like, or how recently your hair was cut. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take care of yourself. Of course, 100%. You know, I have self-care days. I have things that I like to do for me, working out being one of them. But it's not all about the physical appearance necessarily. It's not all about you. It's more what you can offer. And I think a lot of people forget that. I think a lot of people have kind of pushed that to the wayside in being so concerned with whether or not they can get what they need. They're not as concerned with actually how to get what they need, if that makes sense. And these are just my thoughts on, like, not on a regular basis, not on a daily or anything, but these are just my thoughts on this sort of matter, because I think a lot of people have forgotten that. So I make it a practice in my business, and I make it a practice in life to not tell anyone what to do. So I'm not going to start now. I'm not telling anybody what to do. But I'm suggesting that if you are genuinely afraid of what's coming down the pipeline in as soon as 6 months to as late as 10 years, if you're genuinely concerned about the future and food shortages and food supply and being able to protect yourself and having any sort of great quality of life or any sort of good quality of life, start building your skill set. The survival skill set is what you need to focus on. And those sorts of skills are going to prove very useful, and it's going to make you much more attractive to anybody that comes along. They're going to be much more willing to work with you rather than work against you. Because nobody in a grid down SHTF situation wants to be alone. I think that's all I have to say on this topic for right now. There may be future things that I think about. We'll see. But thank you for listening. I hope that this was perhaps somewhat inspiring to you to get a move on. See you on the next one.